Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still playing as Spain. We've just gotten our... we've just gotten our skirmish infantry. Or we've nearly gotten our skirmish infantry, really. We're still in the process of upgrading. But I think that makes it the perfect time to take on Lanfang. Because we've got better military technology than China's got. By a lot. And I think we might be able to take them. And if we go fast, then we won't flip over to national militia and goof up our armies in the middle of a war. So, if we hit the Conquer State button, Netherlands is not likely to step in here. We are gonna... Whew, that's a lot of battalions. It's a lot of battalions, but we might be able to sneak in an army. Am I going to cower it out right now? Whew, it's so many. Are they really going to... Heck it, let's do it. Alright. Get the lads together. Bring everyone to the party. Let me check if China has a fleet. Because if they don't have a fleet, then we don't need to worry about being naval invaded. They have a small fleet. I am going to raise the Spain Defense Force. Just a bit of Spain Defense Force. Alright, so they're sending an army of 100 battalions. I think I can handle an army of 100 battalions of irregular infantry. So I'm feeling reasonably confident. Particularly because I've got the help of the Philippines and Brunei, two great military powers. I am going to finish out this iron mine and then stop building for now. I'm going to flip this one over to iron frame, though. How much have we got in the investment pool? Investment pool's got a couple of million in it. So I think I've definitely got the ability to do what I wish to do. Should I add a war goal? I would love to just quickly grab Korea. Law debate failed, down to 25%. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. That's okay. It's okay. These things happen. I'm conquering one of the great powers of the world. They're an unrecognized great power. I rank higher than them, but you know, it's still important. Federico Alvarez, a peasant movement leader. Excellent. That's exciting. I need to bring in more ammo. Those are not profitable trade routes, friends, but it's what we've got to do. Hopefully we'll be able to get there before a problem is suffered on this front line. Because this is looking a little bit dicey. Alright, so there's the war. Our armies are nearly there. And we are actually winning this first battle without being present, so that's very good. Beating China on the offense as well. Wow, I might have been able to get a little something more on this, but let's not count our chickens here. The Spanish-French Society has offered us an opportunity to establish a defensive pact with France. The lobby has offered to use their connections to smooth the negotiating process. The negotiations, done under the table with a representative of the French government, have been long and arduous. The French representative knew they were dealing with a group without power to match theirs, and adjusted their strategy accordingly. Nevertheless, they'd come to an agreement. Nothing in writing, but that was hardly important. When the government sent the official copy, if they did, they would find there was already a drafted response waiting in Paris. We would be happy to pursue this, or this is not an emergency. I'm going to say we'd be happy to pursue this. I would be delighted to have a defensive pact with France, We still don't have the ability to do it. But, you know, we'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Alright, force comparison here is rock solid now. We are winning this battle. We're winning this battle. The enemy appears to be putting another unit in here. We're winning a battle at sea as well. Very good. Occupation is at 59% for me. Very good. Another successful battle going off. Another successful battle going off. Wonderful. Oh, man, we're crushing it. Dang. I should have, No. I'm not going to say I should have taken something. I don't need to have taken something. It's fine. So, I've got Lanfang now. Which means China does not have war support protection. I should still naval invade them. So let's get the Northern Army over here. I need more government admin. Gosh. Not much more, though. Do I have anywhere I'm short on taxation? No. Taxation capacity, rather. Let's build up one level of government admin in the capital. We'll throw that at the top of the queue just to get that built as fast as we can. And then we'll stop building, because I've run up a lot of debt. Hey, we're in consideration. Excellent. Wonderful. Should I stage other armies? I think I should stage other armies. Because I think a naval invasion's the right call at this time. That or demobilizing some of my forces to save money. Her. I do need units in here defending, though, because if they naval invade, I'm going to be in a pickle if I don't have any units there. Alright, so, as soon as this is finished, we'll pause construction, and that'll keep our finances, well, not doing well, but they'll be okay. And hopefully the investment pool will keep on chugging without the government spending a bunch of money on construction. So let's see. Where do I want to invade? I think the best place to invade would be right in the capital. Yeah, let's see how it looks. Let's see how it looks if we invade the capital. Ooh, there's mechanical tools. Wonderful. We're still bashing away at Atmo Pump Engine. Intensive agriculture spreading. Okay, we were going to get that eventually, so that's very good. So, should improve my training methods. Forgot to do that. You get that when you get access to general staff. Very good. So now, first of all, we have the capacity to produce more paper with sulfite piping. Do we have any sulfur in the customs union? We do not. Do I have any sulfur production capacity? I do. In Western Andalusia. Alright. Law debate failed. Gosh. So we'll add that to the docket, I think. I think this lead mine can get further down, but then we want this sulfur mine right after the lead mine. And then once those are both active, we'll be doing a lot better. So how's this battle going? Okay, the enemy is winning. Oh, because I'm invading with an army that's too large. That was dumb. Cancel this naval invasion. I don't want to be invading with that army. I want to be invading with this army. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh, I'm so handsome and good at video games. Oh, yeah. I always remember how the mechanics of the game work. Language in the classroom. Afro-Caribeño students sometimes use their native language in Spanish schools. Some have called for teachers to penalize the use of these languages, forcing children to speak the official language of Spain. You noticed it too, right? He always gets angry when anyone talks in class, but he gets angry when anyone talks in class, but he always gets angrier when we're talking. Maybe he thinks we're talking about him. I think he just doesn't like being reminded that we know something he doesn't. Schools should teach them to speak the proper language. Extra assimilation. Afro-Caribbean U.S. students become more radical. Extra radicalism for open prejudice and below hops. Or their language is part of their heritage. I don't want to anger the petite bourgeoisie any more than I'm already doing. So I'm going to do the first one. And that will be what it is. Cause without a rebel. Although Federico Alvarez is still fighting for his cause, no one is following him anymore. Despondent, Alvarez has started publicly remarking that he may give up on his activism altogether. What's the point? Speakers, when we have them, speak to empty halls and in empty chairs. There's no crowds, no banners. If anyone pays attention at all, they never understand what we're preaching. What reason is there to stay here? We're all stuck doing nothing. I think it's no time for timidity, and the movement needs drastic changes. So the movement might get stronger, it might get weaker. We'll find out. I think it got weaker, but I'm not sure. Maybe it just got more active. Gifts among friends. An internal investigation has discovered that a government official received many gifts from Jose Antonio del Rosario Falco on behalf of the Spanish-French Society. The official leading the investigation details his findings. Does Jose Antonio del Rosario Falco have no integrity? Among the gifts sent was found the following: a half-dozen parcels of cloth, a carving knife, a pocket knife, 5 pairs of gloves, 23 barrels of salt, and a dozen bottles of Spain's finest Colonia water. Is this not bribery in support of the Spanish-French Society's cause? They've done nothing suspect. 5% of intelligentsia member pops become more loyal. That's extremely tempting. Or perhaps their leader should step down. He steps down. You know, he's an authoritarian and everyone hates him. Let's have him step down. All right, who do we have leading the intelligentsia now? We have a moderate, Alejandro de Carvajal. Oh, but that's broken up our coalition. Well, that was dumb. That was dumb. I'm so good at video games. All right, how's this battle? We're actually winning an invasion of China right now. We are winning an invasion of China. That's extremely good. If that means that in 5 years' time, maybe we'll be in a position to take some, to take a real rock-solid war goal against China. I'm going to go ahead and demobilize the Spain Defense Force. I don't think this war is going to last all that much longer. An anti-Ottoman league has formed. Well, that is unfortunate. I'm also going to demobilize the Guardia Real. This will help me save some cash. I think it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable in the long term. I do want to have an army to follow on with this invasion. But, you know, do this other stuff. Another thing we could do is go after Japan for something. Ooh, there's Screw Frigate. Nice. I never spend government research on Screw Frigate. I think it's such a useless technology. So I'm glad it's spread to me. I'm actually going to unpause construction now that our finances are looking at least a little bit better. They're not looking great, but they're looking at least a little bit better. I may need to increase taxes. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I do have a war on, and it's only going to be going for a little bit longer, so I don't feel that bad about having high taxation right now, and low government wages, which I never feel bad about having. Never pay the bureaucrats. I'm just kidding. It is good to have decent government wages, but especially early on in the game, the unhappy intelligentsia and petite bourgeoisie are not that big of a deal, and you can definitely live with the situation just being the way it is. A lot of invasion progress. We're at 80%, and we are... Alright, we are winning this battle, friends. We might be landing in China. That would be really impressive. I would be really pleased if I could actually pull that off. Obviously, their troop volume is enormous over here. That is always the risk when you're fighting China, because their armies are quite large. But without the technological capacity to defeat our powerful skirmish infantry, we will be leading the way. We're about to find out if this is going to matter or not. All right. Let's grab our follow-on force. got some units coming. Let's see what the force comparison looks like. But they are negative in war support at this point. Alright, so they're losing a little bit of war support each week. So it's only going to be another 10 weeks or so. Students rally to the peasant movement. A group of students attending the university in Toledo have arranged a demonstration in support of the peasant movement. The display has inspired other students to join their cause. The lecture hall was barren. There was always 1 or 2 students missing for illnesses, travel, or family occasions, but nothing of this scale. There were 3 or 4 students per row, each thrown into sharp contrast by the empty seats to their sides. It was material for a lecture of its own, he thought, like a heap of sand whose grains had blown away one after another until its form finally changed. So followed what had once been a class. The youth will lead Spain into the future. Stronger peasant movement. Absolutely, I will do it. I will do it 9 times. Alright, we are winning this battle. We'll progress to ascent. We've fallen to 4% enactment chance through many and various events. Let's hope we can win this battle, but not too fast, because I want to get my units on the front. Okay, alright. Units on the front are a little bit rough. We are still winning on offense, though, which is shocking. But that having been said, we have the ability to get what we will have the ability to get what we want really, really soon. As soon as Spain, or as soon as China, as soon as we've sorted out China. This force comparison looks really, really rough, friends, but I'm hoping we don't wind up in such a bad circumstance. Okay, we are losing on this battle, but that's okay. That's okay. We can live with that. We can absolutely live with that. Again, it's about 3 war support per week. So, as long as we don't... Well, I mean, theoretically, we can actually lose this territory without causing a problem. So I'm not too worried about it. It's just, you know, it's my pride. It's my pride as a video game enjoyer. I don't want to hit the button yet because their peace acceptance isn't positive. Even if it says it is, it's still 0. There we go. All right. So now we're at positive. Give me Lanfang. Delicious Lanfang. Yes. More territories for Brunei. Ooh, the United States has formed a power block. I should get one of those. Granite State. Spanish West Borneo. See, I'm wary of joining other people's power blocks because the thing about other people's power blocks is other people will form a power block and then they'll be like, I want to be in your power block. And then they don't do it. Diplomatic pact at risk of breaking. Rivalry with Great Britain. That's good. I don't want a rivalry with Great Britain. I want Great Britain to stop rivaling me. I want to be friends with Great Britain, or at least not in a rivalry with Great Britain. Alright, so probably, well, I don't know. I don't know how this national militia thing is going to go. We're in ascent, so I think if we have a failure here, it won't be the end of the world. We've got 2 phases already, but what I'm hoping doesn't happen is we end up in this enactment limbo. Hey, that puts us at 14%. That's pretty good. We had some real gnarly luck last episode, but some good luck this one. Oh my gosh, the French have gone to a republic. And they're at war with the British, which I guess shouldn't shock anyone. The French and British do love shooting at each other in this game, I must say. Okay, so how did you wind up in a republic? President Denis Bouillet de Lapeyre. Well, that's interesting. So they did a republic. They're doing a... Well, they were wealth voting before, so now they're a republic. So they haven't really changed all that much about the country as a whole. Which I guess is fine. How is the tooling industry? Tooling's actually reasonably affordable. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out this tooling workshop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build myself some steel mills. Because once I've got steel mills, that'll support steel tooling workshops, and that'll be nice. So I'm going to need 87 steel for that, which means I'm going to need probably only 1 steel mill. I think the baseline output of steel mills is 65 steel. Yeah. Should only be 1. I'm putting it in cast steel because there's iron there. And we'll just throw that at the top of these iron mines. And pray like heck we can get ourselves atmospheric pump engine just as soon as we possibly can, because that technology is really, really going to help us. Ainu uprising in Japan. Return state in Dixie. They're going for Texas. They're going for Texas. And a bunch of other territory as well. Which is what it is. So once this sulfur mine is completed, I'm going to go ahead and enable the sulfur production method, sulfite piping for these paper mills. And that's going to allow us to produce a lot more paper. Hey, there's mass communication. That's a big ol' increase to authority. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Come on, one more week. Yeah, I know you think they'll be unproductive, but they won't. They're just pretending. Spanish-British Friendship Committee. Excellent. Alright, so we're now cordial with Great Britain, which means they're not going to start diplomatic plays against us. I think that's kind of a hard rule. Let's take a look at some consumption tax options. I can throw one on tea. That's not that useful. Throwing out fruit actually would produce quite a bit of cash for the government. So if I pull the one on liquor, I can throw one on fruit, and that'll be worth more than the fruit and the tea would together. So that's definitely useful. All these other consumption taxes are reasonably productive. So that should be good. Now, medium term, what do I want to get done? I'm still bashing away at national militia. I guess I'm going to need a lot more sulfur than I thought I was going to. I thought it would be reasonable with only one mine. Clearly that's not the case. Let me see. Sulfur mines are hiring. Once we get the Atmo pump engine, this will be higher. Is it worth building another? Oh, the private sector is already doing it. Or no, that's me. That's me. I'm building that sulfur mine. I'm going to cancel that sulfur mine. Do I cancel this lead mine? I built the lead mine and I didn't even do the glass thing properly. Alright, let's take a look at lead. Where's lead? Lead's here. I'm bringing in lead that I don't need to be bringing in to the country, so we'll go ahead and cancel that. And then hopefully the lead mine that I built for all the lead will cover the difference and start hiring again, and that'll be nice. I don't think I'm going to need any more yet, so I'll cancel this other one. I am going to keep these iron mines under construction, because I don't want to necessarily... One thing I learned over time is that the private sector will take into account what you've got built, or what you've got in your queue in deciding what to build, so you got to be a little bit careful about that. I think I actually might let it run out with these. And then once we've got Atmo pump engine, we'll circle back to what we need to produce. Because once this steel mill gets properly constructed, I will be able to go to steel-based tooling, and that's going to make things a whole lot easier to deal with. I may have an overage of paper. Let's take a look at trade routes, make sure I'm not bringing any of that in. Looks like no. So what's the paper situation in the country? Paper is... paper is still crazy expensive. Okay. Can't sell paper abroad anywhere. But is it expensive because the paper mills are underemployed? Where are those paper mills? They're in Valencia. They're not underemployed. It's expensive because the sulfur is expensive. Alright, so I do need to... So is it more productive for me to... It's going to be 6 months for that Atmo pump engine. I think... Yeah, I think I do need to build another sulfur mine. I think that's just sensible. 27 weeks. Gosh. That's almost 6 months to begin with. No. That's not... I need to be efficient here. We're up to 14% for national militia, so this will necessitate some kind of army reorganization. But I'm not too worried about that. Please stop building arms industries. We don't need more arms industries. Private sector, jeepers. France still doesn't want a defensive pact. I could give them an obligation. We have shared rivals. And of course, there's 100 from the lobby opportunity. That's good for another couple of months. You know what? Let's do it. I'm okay with owing an Oh, no. It's only worth 1. Friends! Friends, why are you all over the place here? I'm at 0 infamy. I'm so reputable, France. Friends! Friends! I'm so reputable. How do we get all this authority? Oh! Isabel de Bourbon. No, she's still a child. She's still a child. Another couple of years. Another like 5 years or whatever. Let me see. Dutch East Indies is going after Pontianak. I don't think that's necessarily a problem for me. I do want to go after a set, but on the other hand, I also want to unbork my financial situation because my financial situation is doing quite rough. Investment pool is chock full. Realistically, I could build more construction sectors. I should be building more construction sectors, but the thing is, I need to get the Atmo pump engine because iron is so expensive in my market right now. So is sulfur, but that's a different person's problem. And by a different person, I mean me at a different time. Back down to 4%. See, this is the part that's rough. Is when you're just bashing away with a low percentage chance, trying to do your thing, and like we're on stage 3, we don't have any setbacks, but it's going to take forever, and if we can't get this above 15%, it's going to take a long time, and the armed forces are going to be mad the whole way. We're paying a lot in interest right now, so I'm meaning to do a tax hike. I'm hoping I can cover the cost by reducing the construction costs, by which I mean finishing out the construction queue. Again, Atmo Pump Engine will help a lot with all of this. But again, it's the sort of situation where I don't want to put myself in a bad spot medium term. Yeah, we got a lot of expensive government goods here. British have stopped rivaling us. All right, that's very good. Still rivals the Netherlands. Still very high in influence. That's also solid. The Austrians are okay with the defensive pact. They count a defensive pact as worth 28 opinion points. Silly French. Oh, the French are really notorious. That's what's going on. They don't. I bet they don't have any influence to play with because they're so infamous. Did they actually take all that stuff from Britain, or are they currently in the war to do that? They're currently in the war to do that. Oh my gosh, they're forever warred. Although that's not that many dead. It's a lot dead for the early game, but it's not that many overall. Yes. Yes. Ha ha ha. Yes. So, Atmo Pump Engine. Gimme all those resources. Goof up my tooling industry. Goof it hard. Coal shortage. I just increased coal by 1,000,000%. Oh, now the mines are using it. Well, that was dumb. That was dumb of me. I definitely did a dumb there. That's okay. Once we get the steel mill building, everything will be easier. The duel. Jose de Arteche has challenged Nazario Aguilla to a duel to the death. The aura surrounding the two figures is like something out of a romantic novel. Nazario Aguilla smiles. He's been rehearsing this moment before falling asleep. Jose de Arteche, you are a friendless bastard. Your insults cannot go unanswered. Pick a weapon of choice, and we shall meet tomorrow. Let them fight! So, since this is the first duel of the run, I'm going to explain what I'm doing here and why I'm doing it. I can say we should stop it. This reduces their popularity. Or I should say we should ban dueling. This will end duels. It'll piss off the landowners. It'll make the intelligentsia happy. But I'm going to let them fight. And the reason I'm going to let them fight is because duels between characters are just a great way to kill off characters that you don't need around. Let them fight! Obviously, you don't get to choose. Nazario Aguilla, the head of... I think he was the head of the rural folk. Let me see. Rural folk are headed up by an authoritarian. That's interesting. Alright. And then public address goes awry. What was meant as a routine speech about the merits of national militia by Nazario Aguilla has quickly devolved into a public relations disaster for the rural folk. Fumbling his way through a series of poorly presented talking points, Nazario Aguia's arguments have been viciously and convincingly picked apart by his political opponents. The question on everyone's lips now is merely if this mishap was due to the inherent failings of national militia, or can be chalked down to the political incompetence of the rural folk. It's the fault of this poorly thought-out proposal, minus 15% maximum chance. Nazario Aguia must take the blame for this setback. I think he died, so that's fine. Or scrap the current draft and make a show of a rewrite. One setback, 10% maximum chance. I'm gonna let him take the fall for it because he's dead. This is gonna reduce our enactment chance by 10%. Well, no, because the rural folk get weaker. I'm gonna say it's the fault of the proposal. This is gonna drop success chance to 0%, but that's gonna give us an event that's gonna reset it back to its base point in a little bit. An exile at the gates. The relatively lenient Spanish immigration system has long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Ezequiel Manjares has petitioned to join the stream of people moving to Spain. It was one name on a very, very long list, one that had passed through multiple layers of bureaucracy before being noticed. One fateful day, however, one clerk at the end of his shift pointed at that name and spoke those fatal words. I could swear I've heard of him before. Ezequiel Manjares is a slaver aligned with the landowners. I could say eventually he too will be Spanish, which will bring him into the country, or we will not have someone like this regardless of precedent. I'm going to say we will not have someone like this regardless of precedent. I do not want a slaver in Spain. Legislative failure. So here's the event. Despite many efforts on the part of the government to successfully revive national militia from its present imbroglio, the law has come to be regarded as nothing but an inevitable failure. That bill? Please, don't talk to me about it. I would say it's better to just pretend it never happened, don't you agree? Certainly, but that won't stop that fool from asking about it every day. We must sponsor a complete rewrite of the bill. This will be one setback and it clears all of these modifiers and sets us back to 9%. So hopefully that will herald an increase in the likelihood that we'll be able to get our one last success and finish out national militia. Whichever way forward, with the attitudes of the intelligentsia towards the Netherlands growing more apathetic, their leadership has begun to reassess the group's support for the anti-Dutch League. It was difficult to get appointments at the Foreign Ministry these days. The initial interest that they had inspired had long since waned, the lobby's activities falling into Madrid's background noise. The intelligentsia were the first to lose interest. Their representatives initially disheartened by an absence of news, then no longer inclined to read the papers when they arrived at all. What reason do we have to care for happenings in Amsterdam? The younger members challenged. The elders did not know how to respond. It's time for a change in course. Intelligentsia leaves the Anti-Dutch League. Or, why change something that works? They remain. Anti-Dutch League, not particular. Well, they're pretty satisfied. I'm going to keep them there for now. Why change something that works? Alright. With that having been said, though, actually we are out of time for this episode, my nuns. So we'll circle back. Well, I'll finish out this steel mill, because I'm going to forget about what I'm going to do with that steel mill. And then once that's done, we'll figure out what we want to do. Construction-wise. Because I should be producing a lot more tools once that steel mill is finished. I love steel! Alright, 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Lead shortage still. Lead shortage is really because of the coal shortage, though. I might end up needing to build some coal mines. But that's the way an economy works. A lot of things are dependent on a lot of other things. We'll go ahead and flip the tooling workshops over to steel tools. Obviously that's going to be very expensive, but that'll just be an incentive for the steel mill to start working. Alright, my nerds, that's all we've got for today. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.